Alright, so in the previous video you were looking at on-shape instructions and tutorial guidance to get you through making the actual drill gauge, and now what we're going to do is to turn that into an engineer's drawing. So you've got your drill gauge here. What you're going to do is go to the plus tab and then create not a part, not an assembly, but a drawing. So it's create drawing. The important bit here is to make sure that you've got the right settings. So in the OnShape template, you can go ANSI B millimeters, definitely not inches, and we don't really want it in portrait either, so we want ANSI B millimeters is the general setting for all of our working drawings. It should be in third angle orthographic and in millimeters. So it's ANSI B millimeters, okay, and that will give you a blank page with a title block in the bottom right hand corner. And the very first thing that you do when you've got your blank page like that is to insert your parts. Now, it automatically thinks that it's either going to be Part Studio 1 or if it might be an assembly, but we've only got one part that we've created, so it's Part 1. Now, it's asking which orientation do you want? Do you want the front or the top? Now, as it is, this is the front view. Okay, so I'm actually going to change that because we drew it from the top down, so the front is technically that edge there. So maybe we could put that down at the bottom. It's not particularly useful, that that particular orientation. Now click to drop it, and then automatically it's going to come, if you move upwards, with the next projection from there, which is the one that we want. So we're going to move that up to here. And then what we can do is click this and move to the side to give us our side view. Again, not particularly useful, but we'll go back onto projected view and click this one and then move into the top right, and that will give us our isometric. So we've got, let's do that again just so that you can see it. So we start with insert your Part Studio 1. It's coming in with the front view, which is actually in our case the sort of bottom view. When you've got that, you can move upwards, okay, and then click to select this one and move to the right to drop the right view, and then click again and move to the top right to give us the isometric view. And we're going to deselect the insert now, and then we could do a bit of tidying up. All right, so I'm going to move this one up because that's the important bit on here is the sizes that we've used. This one's isometric, so I want to view that in 3D. So we can right click, show shaded view. I also want it to be a bit bigger so it fills the space. So right click again and view properties. It's on 1 to 1 at the moment. If we put it on 1 to 2, that'll make it smaller. So if we go 2 to 1, that will make it bigger. And that's about the right sort of size that I want to fill that space there. All right. Okay, final bit for this is to put some important measurements on. And we're going to use the same measurements that we've got on the actual engineer's drawing. Okay, so for that, we're going to use the dimension tool, which is here. Click, and we'll do the overall length. Click, click, pull out, and click. We've also got click, click, pull out and click. So that shows that it's 120 by 50 overall. And before we do anything else, I'm going to just change the measurements so that they're a different color. Red or blue would be convenient so that it's not getting confused with the black lines of the actual shape. So you click on the little drawing properties over here on the right, go into the dimensions, and you can see they're currently set to black. If we change them to red or blue or just something that contrasts against the black, it's a lot easier to see. Okay, so we'll keep on with our dimension tool. We'll show click, click, show that that distance from there to there is 15. Let's put that over here. We can show click, click. Oops, I'll get rid of that one. Let's do that again. So it's click. Might need to zoom in so you can see that. So 17.5 there, and then we had another one which was from there to there, so they should both be 17.5. Okay, so 50 overall, 15 mil down, 17.5 there, and then the other ones is the distances. We could do the angle, click, click. You can either do 120 that way, 60 in there, and then what else have we got? We've got all of our data in one. So it's click, click, 14, click, click, and so on. All right. So just like you did when you drew it in the first place, and that's going to indicate the distances from the datum. And I think when we've done that, that's probably most of the important measurements that we need in here. Click. And we can tidy it up a little bit afterwards to make it look a little bit neater. But generally, as a working drawing for the drill gauge, that is most of the important measurements. The other thing that we haven't got on there is the thickness for the material, which should be 3 mil thick, not 6. Let's get rid of that and then back onto your dimension. So click, click, pull out, and you can see that that should be 3. We've already got the height at 50. We've got the thickness at 3. We've got the length at 120 up there. So actually those are the only important measurements that we need. So that is pretty much done.